right, y'all. Hey, so I'm back. I've got a quick, well, I'm not going to say quick. I'm going to say I got a video on the Cosmostreamer. Let's see, several people, one I promised you several weeks ago, but as I always do, I get sidetracked and I do things when I'm ready to do them. So I apologize for being late on this. But, you know, I've had a couple people asking about Mtnx Industries. This is for you. Flyzone FPV. This is for you. And I think you and everybody else will see it's pretty simple. Obviously, for those that don't like to solder and those that don't know technically very well, feel free to hit me up. I do sell the builds. But for the average FPV person, you should be able to knock this out yourself pretty darn easily. We've got two versions we're going to go over today. We're going to go over the 3.5-inch display Cosmostreamer, and we're going to go over the no display Cosmostreamer. They're both simple. Excuse me. They're both simple, easy builds. The 3D prints I'm going to offer through the website. I apologize, but no, I'm not going to give the STL files away. I spent hours upon hours upon hours designing these things for myself, and considering, you know, the Mob Digital, I gave those prints away. Most things I do, I give the prints away. I sell them as well, but I also give them away for free. The Dolphin, you know, I sell it, but I also give those prints away for free. Most things I give to the community, but there are some things that I'm going to keep for myself because we all know this hobby's expensive. I mean, it just is. And I go through the time and expense of buying stuff, testing it. It's just all part of the fun for me. But, you know, considering how many hours I've put into this, I hope you can respect that on this one. I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to kind of help try to absorb some of the costs that I incurred playing around, tinkering, coming up with this stuff, so that then I can show you how you can do it, and you can do your own designs or not. I mean, some of these things you don't even have to do design my designs with, but it just kind of helps keep me in the hobby. So I hope you respect that. For those you do, peace out, love y'all. Y'all know where I'm coming from. So real quick, so let's start with the 3-inch. All the parts I used, I will put links down in the description. For everything from the particular monitor case to the barrel plug, to the 1/4-20 base, whatever you want to call it, the Raspberry Pi that I used, everything that you kind of need, the XT60, you can find, you'll be able to figure that out, but I'll put a link to that as well. But everything, and then I'll put a link to the STL or the prints and STL files for the bumpers, which have actually really come in very, very handy in helping just kind of protect this a little bit. The stencil I used in order to cut out the XT60, and this little, I don't know what you call it, this little piece here that just kind of spruces it up a little bit, makes it look nice, hides the little edge of the cutout, so it looks all nice and clean and stuff. And then for the 0, I sell this print plus the mounting hardware, the screws and everything, so that you can just basically just slap your 0 in there. So let's power this up real quick so you can, those of you who haven't seen the videos, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Actually pretty cool. So let's turn on the goggles. Let's go to overhead. believe it was this outside. Yeah, it's this outside one. Let's plug in a battery. And so there, come on. So there you have it, right? Boom, 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 boom. There's the goggles, you can see. So let's unplug that. So some of you are probably asking, why two monitors, da, da, da. Well, you don't have to. I'll show you a video. What I do is I use this as a bridge in order to put it on a bigger monitor when there's a group of people. You can fly it straight off this if you want to be more portable, but if you want to put it on a different display or whatever, you can. I have a 27-inch monitor that I carry with me sometimes that I can then plug in instead of using this monitor. If there's just a couple of us, we could just use this monitor. But, larger the group, the bigger the monitor, blah, blah, blah. Also, you can take the video feed out of this, go into the video production trailer, and they will broadcast that live for whatever sporting event, whatever that you're at. That's what this is primarily for, is streaming footage live for broadcast. So let's put that down. Let's unplug this. Let's unplug overhead. Let's unplug. Let's unplug. So now this one, you can also use a normal plug-in for power. The power you could plug in to, say, something like this little portable Anker Solex. I ran this box, a 27-inch gaming monitor, for 4 hours off this, and it went from 80% to 65%. So this would run this setup all day. Now, let's look at the Zero. So we'll take a little cable, and the reason I like this is because it's so compact and convenient. This just stays on my goggle strap 24/7. It's out of the way. You can't feel it when you're flying, and it's so minimal. So then this, I believe it's in this slot here. Then HDMI out to HDMI. And for stability on the G2s, as you can see, the screen will not stay on with the G3s, with the G3s. So we have to provide an external power supply. It's due to not having enough amperage. So this, unfortunately, for the G3s, would have to sit in your pocket. Oh, you have to go old school with your power source. Let's slide this in here. Let's see if we'll get stable, if I need to replug. All right. Now, there we go. There's your goggles. There's the mic, blah, blah, blah. Now, so as you can see, with the Zero, you'll need a monitor, an HDMI cable. You'll need a short data cable from the goggles to the Zero, and then you'll need a longer cable and power supply with appropriate amperage to supply. So it's not as compact as, say, on my G2s. My G2s, you can see I still have the base. This is how I run the G2s. I just run the stock DJI battery. Honest to God, I've never figured out why people run lipos in their pocket for goggles if they don't have to. These are super cheap and they last forever. They're intelligent. They self-discharge and quick swap. So this is my setup. This has been my setup for why I had the G2s, right? So this simply would plug in here for power. And then I'd have my USB-C cable, the red one, coming from the goggles into the Zero right here. The G2s provide enough amperage to support the Cosmostreamer power needs for a stable connection. So with the G2s, you do not need an external power supply. It will all be in one minimal package of the Zero, one cable coming in, and my recommendation would be run the DJI battery on your battery strap. These are the Ethics strap. It's got a spot for the battery, and everything, your Cosmostreamer and everything is right here. All you'll have to have is one HDMI cable coming from your Zero to your monitor. And if you get you a 20-foot HDMI cable, whatever, you're pretty much free to walk around. When I've done it in the past, I swear I think they used like a 30 or 40-foot HDMI cable. So I was able to move all the way around under my canopy I'd set up with my chargers and all that stuff. And I had to be tethered to the DJI smart controller. With the Zero all to here, all I had was one cable going to the trailer. Plenty of room. I could walk around and everything, and I never had to unplug or anything like that. So that's kind of the setup, right? For the G2s, you've got the DJI battery mount. Come on, right? Just slides on with the cover, which is identical to the G3s, but the G3s I had to change it up so that it could mount on the strap. And you do have to run an external power supply because the G3s just do not provide enough amperage. But you're still tethered by one cable to your monitor, the production truck, versus the smart controller and your monitor and production truck, what have you. It just frees you up. So real quick, if you're interested in the Zero, I'll knock this one out real quick. All you need to do is follow the links in the description and you'll buy the Raspberry Zero. You'll need an SD card. You'll need a license from Cosmostreamer, and you'll need this print, which I'll have a link to on my website. You can refer desktop. You can refer to this video here at 23 minutes 38 seconds, 23 minutes 40. From this point on this video, I show you where to go, how to download the software, how to flash it, the total setup on the Cosmostreamer, right? I show you everything on the setup. All you need to do is follow the links and you'll purchase the Cosmostreamer license, the Raspberry Zero, an SD card, and the 3D print. Once you got that, you just follow that process from 2 minutes and 38 seconds in your setup. Besides the cables, I'll list all that and the power supply for the G3s. I'll list all the all the links and everything. For the 3-inch, I'll have to show you what I did. So let's go to overhead. Hey, Flyzone, I think that's all you're looking for was the Zero. And so I think you're good, but if you want one of these, which they're actually pretty fun, I'd say follow along. Also, this carrying case for this is all part of the print package for those that are interested in that. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this off. For the 3-inch, you need a micro USB to USB cable, and I'll put the link down. This one, it's short, but I bought it for bench work because it's got the micro, it's got the mini, and it's got the full. So, and it's short, so I don't have a whole lot. But for in the field, I would definitely recommend going longer. But for bench work, that's amazing. All right, so on this, you will have to cut out the spot for the XT60 if you so choose. You want to use an XT60. I have a template that comes with the print that you secure on here. Take your Dremel, cut out the hole, remove your stencil, and then you can place this over it, and it just helps make it look a little pretty, because no matter how smooth you are, you're going to have a little uneven edge from the dremeling. With here, I just used I think it's 3/4 drill bit. Obviously you want to do this cutting before you put anything in, but you just simply step your drill bit until you get to the right circumference where the barrel plug, which is, well, I guess I don't have any spares, but I'll put a link to show you. All right, now a little difficult to get out because these kind of snap into these little holes, so it's a little cumbersome to get out, but we'll get it out for you. There we go. All right. So when you pick up this kit, it comes with the hard shell. It comes with this monitor, the ribbon cables. I do not remember if it came with the fan or not. I think it did, but if it does not, I will put a link to that as well, because it's simply a plug, as you can see. It just simply plugs in. And I believe it did come with it. It comes with these standoffs and everything. So for power, I'm running an XT60 that I used the template to cut out the hole and then place this simply to make it look pretty. It's just a regular XT60 with the two M2 mounting screw holes on each end. I simply soldered a couple of wires to it, placed a bunch of protective B7000 over it so that it can't make contact or arc. I used a 5 volt, 9 volt Beck from Mtnx. Goes up to 30 volts in, 5 volts out. Pin 1 is power. And then the ground. Pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is ground. Pin 1 is power. 7 is ground. Pin 2 is power. Pin 3 is ground. And that runs, provides power from the XT60 and the fan. And then the barrel plug, as shown in the previous video, I soldered it from the underside. See if you can see that. So the barrel plug, just like on the 7-inch screen, is soldered to the same pins on the other side, underside of the. Let's see, can you see that? There's your good, right? On this barrel plug, the colors are backwards. Red is actually ground. The center pin, which is black, is actually hot. That's why the black cable is on pin number 2 and the red cable is pin number 3. 3 being ground. That is the extent of this monitor. I also use drill bits stepping up until the 1/4 mount could fit through. And I've made this locking 3D print as the nut on the backside. And then I applied a little bit of E6000 as well to hold it in place so that this print never moves. It never comes out. I will put the pin up. I'll put the pin out for the Raspberry Pi up for you. It's super simple. The trick is just got to make sure that the barrel plug, you got to understand, remember that the colors are backwards, they're reversed. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Essentially, I'll have a list for the build in the description for this. I'll have a list links for the build for in the description for this. All you'll need to do is just jump to 23 minutes 38 seconds on the video linked in the description to download your software and flash it. As far as this option goes, you'll need to cut out these three, which this barrel and the mount is simply using a regular drill bit and just stepping up the size until you can slide the barrel plug or the mount in. This one, you'll simply need to use a little template I've got, use a Dremel, grind out the appropriate area, and then mount your XT60, screw and mount in your barrel, screw this in, use a 3D print on the back side, use a little E6000 to hold it in place. Then you need to follow the pin out for the fan, plug into the appropriate ground and power. For the barrel plug, you'll have to solder underneath the board using the appropriate ground and barrel plug pins. Remember, the colors are reversed on the barrel. I would double check it with the meter so that you can double check yourself. Apply a little power if you don't have a little like P200 power supply like I do. I can apply power. I can check the voltage. If the voltage is reversed, then I know which is correct. Double check yourself. If you don't, make your little harness, plug in a 2S battery or something, and check it that way. Or excuse me. If you don't, plug in your power into the barrel plug, and then use your voltage meter to check the voltage and make sure that it's not reversed, that you know which is which. As of today, as of the last year or whatever, those particular barrel plugs, the colors are reversed. The ground, the black has been powered and the red has been ground. You can desolder and resolder them, put a heat shrink on if you want to. I've done so many, now I just know, but you do need to check for yourself. Then for the XT60, I simply soldered on a couple of wires with a header pin so that I could just slide it onto the pins of the Raspberry Pi. And I did use a BEC that allows up to 60 volts and steps it down to 5 volts. 5 volts and 5 volts. I'll put the BEC in there. 5 volts and 2.6 amps, I believe. Because the Cosmostreamer does need the appropriate amperage in order to have a stable signal. All right, I'll list everything in there, and by all means, you can email me with questions and such. And for those that don't want to tinker with it, I'll put a link down there. I'll build it for you. I've built a lot. I don't mind. It helps pay for my hobby, and actually, it's kind of fun because I get to interact with people. So with that said, peace out. Love y'all. Have fun. Share your flying with friends and stuff. It's just a good way to bond, and it's great for family functions and stuff too, because now you don't have to put on goggles. You can actually just put it up on a TV with the family and folks. All right. Peace out. Love y'all.